Hi, this is Neuroscience with Nia. Today we will be discussing neurons and neurotransmitters. So, what are neurons? The National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke state that neurons are information senders. They use electrical impulses and chemical signals to transmit information between different areas of the brain and between the brain and the rest of the nervous system. Meyer stated that the bushy dendrite fibers receive information and conduct it towards the cell body. From there, the cell's lengthy axon fiber passes the message through its terminal branches to other neurons or to muscles or glands. So, we have what is called a synapse. And basically, what it is a connection between neurons, and it carries the information from one neuron to another. At the synapse, the awakening of electric impulses or action potentials sends a signal from one neuron, also called the presynaptic neuron, to another called the postsynaptic neuron, which will then trigger it to fire its own action potential or not, like a domino effect. And that's how they communicate. Like electricity in wires around your house, it travels and has brief pauses, which determines whether it will be carried on or not, which will determine whether the light bulb will be turned on or not. Khan Academy. Unipolar cells have one long axon emerging from the cell body, but the cell body is located at neither end of the axon. At one end of the axon are dendrites, and the other end, the axon forms synaptic connections with a target cell. Unipolar cells are exclusively sensory neurons and have their dendrites in the periphery where they detect stimuli. Multipolar neurons, example, motor neurons and interneurons, have multiple processes emerging from their cell bodies, hence their name, multipolar. They have dendrites attached to their cell bodies and often one long axon. Motor neurons are multipolar neurons, as they are the most of the central nervous system. Bipolar cells have two processes, which extend from each end of the cell body, opposite to each other. One is the axon and one the dendrites. Bipolar cells are not very common. They are found mainly in the olfactory epithelium, where the smell stimuli are sensed, and as part of the retina in the eye, Oregon University. Sensory neurons. Sensory neurons get information from sensory organs and sends them to the brain. Motor neurons tell the muscles to perform the action, and interneurons simply connect the two together. So what are neurotransmitters? Now that the message has been passed on, it reaches the axon's ends and triggers neurotransmitters, which are chemical messengers to be released. The three neurotransmitters we will look at are dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine. Dopamine is produced in the substantia nigra, ventral tegmental area, and hypothalamus of the brain. It modulates learning, motivation, heart rate, blood vessel function, kidney function, lactation, sleep, mood, attention, control of nausea and vomiting, pain processing, and movement. Too much dopamine can cause schizophrenia, obesity, mania, hallucinations, delusions, and addiction, whereas too little of it can cause attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, Parkinson's disease, obesity, reduced alertness, difficulty concentrating, less motivation and enthusiasm, poor coordination, depression, dopamine transporter deficiency syndrome, and movement difficulties. Next, we have serotonin, mostly found in the digestive system. Serotonin is made from the essential amino acid tryptophan. Cheese, red meats, and nuts all contain amino acids. Serotonin impacts emotions and motor skills. It is considered a natural mood stabilizer. It's the chemical that helps with sleeping, eating, digesting, reduce depression, regulates anxiety, heals wounds, stimulates nausea, and maintains bone health. Too much of it can cause shivering, heavy sweating, confusion, restlessness, headaches, high blood pressure, twitching muscles, diarrhea, high fever, unconsciousness, seizures, and irregular heartbeats, while too little of it can cause depression, anxiety, suicidal behavior, and obsessive compulsive disorder. Norepinephrine or noradrenaline is produced in the inner part of the adrenal glands, also called the adrenal medulla. Their roles are increases heart rate and blood pumping from the heart. It also increases blood pressure, helps break down fat, increases blood sugar levels to provide more energy to the body, affects the sleep wake cycle, increases attention, focusing focusing on performing tasks in memory storage, and affects the emotions. Too much norepinephrine can cause panic attacks